Hi friends, in this session, Naveena Denim from Pakistan shall be introducing sustainable functional denim fabrics with a unique natural tri-blended fibers. NDL developed capsule collection having properties of moisture management and thermal retention for all season denim fabric. I would like to invite Salli Deighton to moderate the session with Rashid, Iqbal and Zeeshan to talk about this collection of natural adaptive fabrics.
Hello everyone, my name is Salli Deighton. I'm a product developer based in London and a Rivet 50 honoree this year. Today I'm speaking with Naveena, with Rashid and Zeeshan. Naveena's a mill I've worked with for many years, more than a decade. The guys have always been super supportive and flexible on my developments. They're always willing to try something new. They're real innovators as well and have worked with really great technical fibres, like man-made fibres like Coolmax, Denim, Thermalite over the years. We were talking about the new Adapt line, which is using natural technology, natural methods for moisture management. So hello Rashid, how are you today?
Hi Sally, thank you so much for the introduction and your kind words. Yes, we've been working together for quite some time now, and I'm glad you were able to like all our innovations that we have done in so many years. And this time what we're going to talk about is our all natural adaptive fabrics, which we're really proud of because the team has done a great job in terms of blending the all natural fibers. So as we go along, we will explain you what the technology was all about, all our challenges and the experience we've had, and what the final result was.
Perfect. So with the Adapt line, you've created moisture management naturally. It's really exciting, natural fibers with benefits, as I like to think of it. So how does it work? And can you tell me a little bit more about the all-season performance, Zeeshan?
Thank you very much, Sally. This is obviously idea was to develop such a fabric which can perform for all season. And in the market, there is a lot of stuff are available with a different performance level and different brand tags. So the idea to develop that fabric, which is based on organic and sustainable material. So we all aware hemp is basically warm fiber for winter fiber, and linen is basically summer fiber. So we mix up along with cotton, make a tri-blended yarn, which can perform for both seasons. That fabric can keep you warm in winter and keep you quick dry and cool in the summer season.
It's amazing. That sounds really interesting. So it's like all the man-made technology, but with a natural twist to it. So Dare to Adapt uses cotton, linen and hemp. Cottonized hemp is quite a coarse fibre as far as I see it. How have you achieved such a good hand feel on the fibre? Because it's very, very soft. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Zeeshan?
Yes, actually, we all aware cotton is basically flower-based fiber, and hemp and linen is basically bast fiber. So these are not such as a soft fiber as cotton. So thanks to the inventor who invented the way, the cottonized way, where we can have a flexibility to mix up other fibers. And in a previous time, we all aware these bast fiber were using in a different way, like a wet spun. So now we have a flexibility. We can use these fibers mixed with other fibers like cotton or some other man-made fibers as well. So we come up with the idea to make a tri-blended yarn along with the cotton, linen, and hemp. And we have done a lot of work in our spinning and fabric manufacturing process, where we have done a few modification in our machinery, in a back process, where we can have a uniform blended yarn.
That's brilliant. So what percentage of hemp and linen are you using in the spinning? And is there any waste left over?
Yeah, we started the composition, blended composition from the optimum level where we can achieve the performance level. The idea was that to achieve that certain performance level, there is once we talk about the performance levels, means there is a three major performances. Number one, wicking property. Wicking property means capillary action. And number two, absorbency. And number three is flow value. Flow value means heat retention. So So we have to achieve that levels. That's why we have to have add material in our product, and we started from a 40% overall adoptive blended material in our fabric.
40%, that's quite high. Of course, I've got to ask you, where's the source of hemp, and how are you certifying and managing this source? Can you tell us a bit about that, Rashid?
Yes, Salli. When we first started working on hemp and wanted to study the sources, we found out that there's a lot of hemp available in Europe and China, and we started off with Europe, especially France, and then we moved towards China, with Kingdom being one of the mills, one of our partner mills in all the developments. And the basic difference that we found out was that the cottonized hemp that we are using, because it has to be cottonized in order for it to be blended with other yarns, natural and man-made. So it was important for us to use the cottonized hemp. The cottonized hemp coming from Europe was not bleached. It was a natural form, whereas the cottonized hemp coming from China they were offering both options, bleached and unbleached. The only added advantage of having a bleached version was to blend it with cotton, and in that case, you can hardly tell the difference. And our first goal was to make sure that customers who are already used to buying cotton fabrics, they do not see much difference. The idea was to pitch the fabrics with very minimal difference by just adding the real authentic character. So that's why we opted for the Chinese hemp. And since then, we have had successful experiences with different compositions of cotton, hemp, refibra, and tencel hemp, polyester hemp, so on and on. So we did many blends with it, and it worked very well. So China right now, Kingdom Mills is our partners with all hemp developments.
That's really exciting. So it's a really flexible kind of way of working. You can work with lots of other fibers too. So have you faced a lot of challenges in production when you've switched over to the hemp and linen? Does it slow things down? How's it performing in the factory?
Well, there were a few challenges, especially at the spinning stage, because these are all bast fiber, natural bast fibers with the different staple lengths. Now, in order for that to have a blend with the cotton was quite challenging, and our spinning technical team played a very important role in doing a stage-by-stage blending. In order to have the homogeneous mix was the first most important thing, and they were very successful. And of course, it didn't happen overnight. We did have to do many trials before we could get the yarn right, because yarn is the first and foremost thing. And what we noticed was there were many imperfections at the yarn stage. And to my surprise, those imperfections actually added a lot of character and authenticity to the final fabric. So that was one of the things. And then we had certain experiences with dyeing, and I'll let Zeeshan share the experiences what we have had and the challenges.
I love it when imperfections like enhance the fabric and give it more character. It's really nice. So Zeeshan, going to the dyeing, what are you doing? Have you had to change the process? Are you following exactly the same process as cotton? And have you got any issues? Are you dyeing black? Can you tell us anything about the black and the colours you're running in this adapted range?
Yeah. Firstly, if we talk about the adaptive blend, yeah, we all know the moisture content in a fiber, especially cotton and linen and hemp, are totally different. The main challenge was to have a consistent and uniform dyeing, because the moisture content are three different fibers having a different. So the main challenge was to have a consistent shade, and we done a lot of work on pre-dyeing process, where we make sure we will have the consistent shade. And first we have done a trial with the medium indigo kind of shade, and finally we got a nice optic and a nice washes. And you have mentioned about the black one, and yes, I would like to mention here our new recent development. And we all aware, especially black shade and sulfur shades are not laser friendly as much the indigo ones. So recently we have done one development with the collaboration of Archroma and Genologia, where we have perform a first trial on an ambient temperature, like the indigo. Indigo is always done on an ambient temperature, and that is the superficial dyeing. Means the laser efficiency with the fabric is really, really remarkable.
Yeah, I love doing developments with you guys. And I'm mentioning like genealogy. I remember going out there in about 2016 and we went to test some of your fabrics, or we were testing some of the finishes you've been doing. And the results were absolutely incredible. Like the uptake on the laser was huge. I was working with a big retailer and we tested a fabric called 3913. I'll never forget it. We were super impressed. And when we actually went to production, because it had the G2 dynamic finish, that incredible machine that I didn't really know a lot about, but I do now. Yeah, we actually saved money in laundry. So what we did on the finishing on the fabric actually saved some cost for us, which is really good. So are you finding most of the customers have embraced the G2 dynamic finish now and the ozone finish, and they understand it? And have you applied this to the Adapt range? Because to me, it's really super important. Rashid?
Yes, Salli. Talking about the ozone is a very interesting story. Just like you said in the beginning, you didn't understand much. Same was the case with us when Genealogy came to us and they came up with the idea of processing fabrics without water. We were like, what are they talking about? So we did some trials and the results were very good. There were actually fabrics with no water or very less water, to be very precise. And since then, we decided that, you know, since Pakistan being one of the countries which is challenged with water scarcity, and it is very important for us to save every drop if possible. So we decided to invest in this technology. Although at that time it was very new, we did not know how to finish the high stretch fabrics. There were many different kinds of fabrics when it comes to finishing, you know, power stretches to rigids and comfort stretches and mercerized fabrics. So we didn't know if all the fabrics are going to perform the same way or we'll have to handle it in different ways. So since then, I tell you, we have gone through the learning curve, and there has been around almost, I'd say 80,000 meters of just developing the fabrics. And that was our learning cost, honestly. And when I tell my friends in Genealogy, they're like, okay, you guys really know how to get the fabrics right now. Because yes, we paid a big price for learning the fabrics on from rigid fabrics to power stretches. Just basic caustic fabrics to mercerized fabrics. So since then, what we have done is we made sure that we add the ozone processed fabrics in our collection. And it makes all the sense because we have so many advantages at the laundry, like you said, you know, in terms of reducing the process time, which in fact results in reducing the electricity, water, and labor number of hours. So, you know, plus the lasers, LSF fabrics, these are laser sensitive fabrics. So the EIM improves, which is basically an indicator of how green your garment is actually. So there are so many advantages, and we are pushing very hard since last 3 years. And I see more and more customers moving towards ozone processed fabrics. So I think since then, there has been a mushroom growth also in Pakistan. We see many mills who are now producing ozone processed fabrics.
Definitely. To me, it's a no-brainer. I actively look for this on all the fabrics now because, you know, as we move to more sustainable laundries, we're seeing the technology there, and we've got to choose the right fabrics that suit the technology. And there's no point in having a sulfur top fabric that doesn't work with laser. It's much better to actually work with guys like you and have that ozone finish for our fabrics. So Zeeshan, did you want to add anything on the ozone finish? Because I know it's special on the Adapt range. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, as Mr. Rashid mentioned, there's a lot of advantages of ozone technology. This technology previously using for a garment technology, but we are a pioneer company in Pakistan who invested in a fabric ozone treatment. So there are two the benefits in the two different segments. If we talk about the fabric benefits, means we can have the good laser efficiency. And second thing, there is no backstaining on it. The more clarity, more cleaner shade, more cleaner surface. And if we talk about the laundry stage, then definitely, as you mentioned, there is a second biggest cost after laundry in a garment manufacturing. And if the customer or cutter can save like 20 or 30 cents, this is a huge saving. So that desire wash you can achieve maybe within a less time, with less chemical, less energy, and less water.
Absolutely. I'm all for an easy life in laundry. I see hemp being used mainly in like rigid fabrics or low stretch fabrics because it's such a coarse fibre. You see it being used in really lovely vintage fabrics because it suits that. Have you been able to adapt the technology to suit power stretch or comfort stretch or other stretch fabrics?
Initially, we have developed one capsule collection where we have developed the rigids and the comfort stretches and maximum stretch up to 30%. That's a really good idea to add more fabrics like body sculpt fabrics, as you mentioned. So in a second phase plan, definitely we will add those kind of fabrics in our this concept line.
Exciting. I'm happy to hear. I like to see more and more fabrics like adopting new fibres and everything and new technologies. So the composition of this range and the fabrics you've got is 15% adapted fibre. Is it possible to increase that blend? And what are the complications? What's the maximum you could actually deliver in that blend at the moment?
Salli, as mentioned earlier in our conversation, the cottonized material is allow and give us a flexibility to add more and more content in it. So we started from the optimum position where we can achieve the performance level, but it's depend on customer requirement. If the customer want to have more sustainable material in their fabric, then we can add it. And definitely simultaneously there will be cost increase as well.
So based on that, how affordable is this range, Rashid?
Salli, to be honest with you, we are a very affordable mill, and you have worked with us in the past, and you know, with all the developments and innovative fabrics, we were still trying to keep the price well within the affordable range. Having said this, you know, sustainable denims are not going to be cheap. These are naturally cellulose-based fibers, especially hemp being one of the most expensive fibers, but it all depends on the kind of blend and the kind of construction you have done. Having said this, we have tried to make sure that the fabrics which are in this particular natural adaptive collection are well within the range of the commercial use.
Yeah. That's good. I know you're very fair with your pricing and you always try and be competitive. So yeah, your technologies have always been workable for me. So have you got any long-term targets at Naveena on future fibres and natural fibres going forward?
Yes, Salli, we have decided to always keep one line, one concept in our collection with natural fibers as much as possible. Although these are expensive developments, but that's our commitment. And being a mill of innovation, it's our responsibility to keep finding new fibers, keep using them in our collections so we can offer our customers more options. Now it's up to the brands and the customers, the final consumers, so how they take it.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's definitely natural products, more natural products. There's definitely at the fore of research at the moment, and it's the right way to go. So Zeeshan, is there anything else we should know about this range, the Dare to Adapt line?
Yes, definitely. I would like to mention the performance level, and you know, and once we talk about the functional and the sustainable denim fabric, and then we have to make sure our fabric is performing on a certain quality protocols and levels, as we discussed earlier. There are three main performances we have to check for our all-season qualification. Number one, the wicking property, and we are following AATCC 197B. And this is a test method. We are applying for a wicking property, means fabric should perform 3.5 inches in 30 minutes. Means moisture transportation, moisture can expand 3.5 inch in 30 seconds. And our fabric result is in 30 minutes. Our fabric results is 5 inches in 30 minutes.
Wow.
And if we talk about the absorbency, we are following AATCC 79. In 1 drop of water should absorb in fabric within 5 seconds. And in our fabric performance is water absorbency is in the 3 seconds. And if we talk about the flow value, we are following ASTM D1518, means there is a minimum standard for a bottom wear is 0.1 flow value, and our fabric reserve is 0.28. So now you can see with the natural material, our performance levels are okay as per the international standards.
Wow, they're better. That's amazing. I think we have a video that we can run now and just show some of the procedure in the mill.
The courage to adapt is a gift. The ability to adapt is a skill. The willingness to adapt is a choice. At NDL, we choose to adapt materials combining hemp and linen to create Adapt. 100% sustainable adaptive fabric. Fabric that breathes and is environmentally responsible. It adapts to you as you adapt to your surroundings. It's almost like it has a life of its own. Key features: thermoregulation performance, biodegradable, resilience to bacteria and UV light, enhanced aesthetics. This blend of hemp and linen is a combination rooted in adaptation, spun on spinners designed for cotton and flower fibers. Mixed and blended carefully in the blow room to ensure a unique tri-blended composition with natural characteristics of homespun yarn. We are overcoming the challenges of rope dyeing tri-blended yarn in order to achieve an exemplary indigo shade. We use naturally cool linen fibers to dissipate heat in warm conditions and naturally warm hemp fibers to insulate in cold conditions. With this moisture-wicking properties and the thermoregulation, Adapt optimizes temperature and controlled comfort and is the biodegradable and sustainable fabric for the future. It is time you adapt.
So that's really exciting. So guys, if there's one thing you could change about our industry overnight, what would you change? Rashid, do you want to start?
Actually, there are many things I would like to change, to be honest with you. But if there was only one thing that I could change, I would really like to see the denims going back to its original roots of having the real denims. Since we have tried to make this more commercial and more economical, we have lost the real authentic denims in trying to make it cheaper every day. So I feel that the real denims have been lost. So I wish we could really go back to our roots. And that's what I would.
Yeah. But absolutely quality, but with integrated new technology. It's super exciting. And these couldn't say them. Zeeshan, I hadn't got my teeth in right. Zeeshan, what would you like to see changing?
I wish I could do dyeing, and we all know, especially for indigo dyeing, there's a lot of water consumption and chemical and other things. So I mean, we are using up a lot of natural resources. So I wish I could do a dyeing without water and other chemicals, without polluting the environment and all the things. And maybe down the line we can have that technology and we can do that.
I have no doubt you'll achieve that. I know what a geek you are and such a technical expert. It's really exciting. So thank you for your time. Thanks for telling us about the range. And yeah, see you later, guys.
Well, thank you, Salli.
Thank you.
You're welcome.